Alright, now I'm home and I went ahead and imported the images into Lightroom. I like to use Lightroom to do some batch editing, to do some overall color correction and tonal changes to the image, along with doing some cropping. You can use another program if you like, such as Aperture, or you don't have to use any at all. You can go ahead and use the images straight out of camera and make your movie from that. As you can see, I'm in the Develop module. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the bottom and left panels so you can see the image a little bit better. Now I did a preset white balance on this, so it's pretty close. I'm just going to tweak things a little bit here and there, nothing too drastic, and mess with the light, add some recovery, make those blacks pop a little bit, and maybe boost the clarity and the saturation. Nothing too drastic. I'm even going to add a little bit of a gradient to make that sky a little bit lighter. Okay. Alright, so now I have the image about how I want it to look. Now I'm going to do my cropping. I'm going to click here on the crop tool. I don't want to just wing it, you know, and guess how I want it to look. I actually want it to be an exact 16:9 aspect ratio, just like you'd see a 1080 movie. So I go over here to the aspect, and they have a few options here, but they don't have the one I want. I've done this before, so I already have a 16:9, but if you don't have that, go ahead and enter a custom size, and then just type it right in here, and click OK. It's exactly what I need, so I'm going to hit enter or return. Next thing I want to do is apply all of the changes that I did here to all of the images that I'm going to make the movie out of. I'm going to show the bottom panel. I already have the one that I did the adjustments to selected, so I'm going to scroll all the way to the end, hold the shift key down and click on the very last image, and then click on the sync button right here. I want to make sure that all of the options are checked, and then I'm going to go ahead and synchronize. This usually takes a few minutes depending on how many photos you actually have. Alright, all of my images are synced. They all have the same adjustments and the same aspect ratio. So next what I need to do is export them. I'm going to go back to my library module. They're already selected. If they're not all selected, you can go to Edit and select all. And then just go to Export. Now, I already have it set up pretty much how I want it. I made a preset for 1080 HD, so when I do my time-lapse images, then I always have the same setup. I went ahead and put them in their own folder. I changed their name to Boats. I want to keep them as a JPEG, 100 quality. And this is really the one thing that I really change about the image. I resize it to fit the short edge, so it's 1080. That way it'll give me the 1080 aspect ratio that I want. Now, if you get this set up in your own Lightroom export window, you can go ahead and add, and then just title it however you want. As you can see over here, I titled my 1080 HD, so now I can always go back to it and I don't have to keep redoing those changes. Now I'm going to go ahead and export. Now this usually takes a while, but with the magic of video editing, I will be back in a few seconds to show you how to make these images into a movie. Okay, I'm back. All of my images have been exported by Lightroom into a folder. I have over 1,500 of them, and I'm going to make these into a movie. And the way I'm going to do that is by using QuickTime Pro. QuickTime Pro is a really inexpensive software that you can buy, and it works with both Windows and Macintosh platforms. It's only $30, so if you're interested in doing this kind of photography, I highly recommend it. Okay, in order to get these into a movie, I need to import them. And the way I do that is by going to File and Open Image Sequence. Now I need to go ahead and find where my files are. and they're right here in my boats folder. All you need to do is just click on one of the images. It actually won't let you select all of them. Just click on one and it'll pull all of them in. And then just click open. I'm going to go ahead and pull these in at 60 frames per second because I don't really want a long time lapse. I photographed these at 1 second intervals, so if I put it in 30 frames per second, it's just kind of going to extend it, and I want it to be really quick. So I'm going to choose 60 frames per second. And this process is going to take a few minutes. Okay, so now it has taken all of the images and put them into one movie file. As you can see, it's really big. My screen resolution is at 1280 by 800, and this is actually showing at 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to just view this, I'll go half size so we can see it in the screen. Now the next thing I'm going to do is export this as a movie file. Go up here to File, Export. I'll go ahead and pick a title for it. I'll just call it Boats. Stick it in my time-lapse folder there. I'm going to go ahead and make this a QuickTime movie. I'm going to check my options to make sure everything's set up the way I want it to. Alright, when you click on Settings, this is where you get to pick the type of compression and the frame rate and some other things. I'll keep it at best quality. It'll probably increase the file size, but I'm okay with that. And I'm actually going to change the frame rate to 30 frames per second. And I'll keep it at H.264. Click OK. By clicking on that size button, you can change it here if you want to. Like if I just wanted it a smaller resolution, I could do that. I'm going to leave it at 1920 by 1080, just to keep my options open. But you're welcome to change it to any size that you want. Alright, now that I have my settings all ready to go, I'll click OK, and then I'm going to click Save. My movie has finished exporting and it's ready to go. Let's see what it looks like. To view more of my work, please visit my portfolio at istockphoto.com/NicoleZ. Please feel free to comment on this and other posts at twipphoto.com.